I tried everything. I tried the bodybuilding meal plans. Like, they're clean, it's healthy, but it's too much. I was eating so much, 6 times a day, because everybody's eating 5 or 6 times a day. Yeah, you need to eat because of energy, but eating the food consumes your energy. Less is more. You know what I mean? And it's the same in Jiu Jitsu. The more you know, the less you use. I think a lot of people know the answer already. They know that they should not consume as much calories as they burn. They know that they should not be binging on Netflix at night, but they can work on themselves. They already know that, you know. They already know the path to, I don't want to say success, but it's more like the path to growth. You know, they already know those things, but they don't do it.
And why is that?
That's a good question.
Welcome, my name is Matthijs and you're listening to Injured Dumbass, your go-to podcast if you want to get rid of your injuries and optimize your health. I've seen more than 40 physiotherapists, podiatrists, had a knee surgery, an MRI scan, and saw many more professionals that didn't know how to help me with my injuries. And after 5 years of struggling, a man named Gerben Hierik helped me with a fairly unknown form of therapy called PDTR. He fixed my knee stabilization in 2 hours. Something that all the previous professionals could not achieve. And after that experience, I swore to dedicate my life to learning and sharing problem-solving knowledge. Everything to optimize your health and help you to get rid and stay away from injuries.
Gezondheid draait niet om voeding, maar het draait om energie. Het draait dus om elektromagnetisme opwekken en het is niet voedingafhankelijk.
Here comes the crying and the activation of the brain.
I have the question for the people who have absolutely no clue what is TRE.
Okay.
That is mind-blowing. Questions about injuries.
Injuries?
Because I was wondering, have you ever dealt with physical injuries?
Yes, I did. And
A very big shout out and thank you of today's sponsor, Ergomax. Quality supplements for people who care about their health. Use the code Matthijs10 at the checkout for a 10% discount.
Welcome to Injured Dumbass. My name is Matthijs.
My name is Joran.
My name is Abdel.
Welcome, Abdel.
Welcome, Abdel. And Abdel has been operated 33 times after a traumatic car accident. I think you told us you flew something like 6 meters in November 2016. 2006, sorry.
Yes.
You lost half of your colon, you lost half of the small intestine, your spleen is away, your gallbladder is gone, and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu saved your life. So Abdel, welcome to Injured Dumbass. So today, of course, I met you when I did my first Brazilian Jiu Jitsu experience in Amersfoort in the Netherlands.
Yes.
And after the class, I was completely enthusiastic again because after my injury 8 years ago, it was the first time I did a real sport, in my opinion, after I had stopped doing football and tennis. So you were the one who gave me that revelation of sports back into my life. And after the training we did, we also discussed your journey in becoming healthy again.
Yeah.
Because after 33 operations, you are now a loving father, a healthy man,
yes,
with a business. So that's a lot of inspiration.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you happy?
Very happy. Yes.
Are you awake?
Very awake, and I had a couple cups of coffee, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. Sip some coffee. Yeah, that's a quick summary of what happened in all those years. I think it's been a while now. So yeah, like you said, 33 surgeries. I was hit by a mini bus, like a small bus. Lots of things happened. 33 surgeries, a coma. Lots of things went wrong. Yeah, so the first couple of years were really bad. I think like six years were like very rough. So I was in the hospital. I was institutionalized. I lived in a psychiatric ward after my physical rehabilitation. So I didn't. It's not that I needed the psych ward, but it's more like that they said like, your physical rehab is finished now. You have to go there for your mental rest. And actually, it was, I think, the worst time of my life, because that's like 2 years that I just threw away. I didn't do nothing there, so it was more.
Wow. Feels it like that? That you throw that years away?
Yeah, it really feels like that, because I didn't do anything. I was just sitting in my room, no TV, no.
I think
phone.
I think that made you a very conscious person, because you told me an hour ago that when you have an instinct, when you have a feeling, you listen to it. You don't press it away, and I don't know many people who listen to their guts.
Well, I don't have much guts anymore. But what's left, I listen to. So, so like in like talking about time-wise, I threw a lot of time away, but I also had a lot of time to think about where my life was going, why was I here, why am I here still, because I was like, I literally died on the operation table, I think once or twice. So very aware of life at that moment. So I had a lot to think about. I don't actually know where to start, because there was so much things that
like you already told what happened. What was the accident and what followed after that? I mean, I think you endured so many forms of healing and therapies yourself, but I think it's wise to start for the audience to tell what happened to you.
Yeah. So what happened was, like I told you before, I had the accident, and so many things happened. The bus that hit me left me for dead. Some of my intestines were on the floor outside in the street. I hit a pole with my stomach, and everything just came out. It took me to the hospital. Everything went black from there. In all those years, I had those surgeries. Lots of things went wrong. I had like a lot of leaky. My guts were leaking, and like literally food comes out of my navel, like in the front, my belly button. Sorry. So like a lot of things went wrong. And if you're in that situation, you're probably gonna be like, I'm never gonna make it. But somehow, some way, something in my mind told me that everything was going to be better. So I just kept on going, and I took it by the day, or sometimes by the minute. Sometimes I was like in my bed and hoping a couple minutes would pass, because there was so much pain, couldn't sleep. I think didn't sleep for 6 to 8 months, like no sleep. As in, as in like a full night's sleep. There was no, because I couldn't sleep at night.
Because you couldn't get any food inside.
Yeah, I didn't. No food. I had like food through the, how do you say that?
Yeah.
The tubes.
Yeah, tubes.
I had food through the tubes. But I think the first and foremost was more the anxiousness. When it was nighttime, I knew it was going to be bad, because nobody was there, only the nurses. And before you go, because it's going to be a long night, because I wouldn't sleep because of the pain. So during the day, I was trying to take some naps. But when nighttime came, it was yeah, would go to dark places because I had like a very high fever, a lot of pain that I cannot describe in words. So yeah, a lot of things went wrong there, and I didn't have like lots of sleep. So you can't think straight, also, you know. So that's difficult.
What did you learn from that experience in the hospital?
I learned to look at the ceiling for quite some time because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move because my stomach was ripped open, and you cannot come up and you cannot turn to your side because then your intestines will fall out. So it's quite a weird feeling. So you can't go anywhere. So you're stuck inside your own body. So then you have to switch on to the mind, you know, and then it's like, you know, there's no self-help video there or a book that you can help. So you have to go deep, and every time you're just talking to yourself and saying, 1 more minute, you know, 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get through the hour. So that was that was tough.
And that lasted for 6 to 8 months.
That lasted 6 to 8 months because I was in my like I could only stay in the bed, couldn't go anywhere. And then after that, I got more and more surgeries, and then they said, you know, you can come out of bed and have a little walk or sit in the chair. You know, so I think I took my first shower. I think it was like 7, 8 months later. Wow. You know, so yeah, that was rough. And then you have to relearn everything, learn how to eat.
How old were you when you had the accident?
16.
16?
16, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 16.
How old are you now?
30.
30.
30. Right. 16, 30, but lot of things happened during that time. So when I was 16 and I turned 17 a couple months later, after the accident. So I think from my 17th birthday till I was 23, I think, I was busy with all the therapy, all the surgeries, and all those things.
So 6 years long.
Yeah, I lived 4 years in a rehab center,
okay,
physical rehab, and then, like I said, I went to the psych ward for 2 years, and in the 4 years that I lived in the physical rehabilitation, I was living with an open stomach. So I had open stomach and I had stomas, you know, because I couldn't go properly to the bathroom. So yeah, so I lived like that for quite some time. And afterwards, they took skin from my leg, and they put it on my stomach, and they, you know, sewed it on my stomach to let it heal. And so it grew. And then after 2 years, they took it off and they put everything back together. So that is now what it is now. You know, it's like a big scars on the side. I showed them to you. You already know
it looks good now.
Looks good, yeah, it looks good. It gets you a lot of views on the beach, you know, when you walk on the beach.
Yeah.
But it's not that I'm actually quite proud of them, you know. It's a part
You're
of
proud?
me.
Proud of it?
Yeah, proud of
That
proud
you
of it.
survived mentally?
Yeah, more like that. You know, the physical, you know, it's not very appealing to me anyway. You know, if you have a six pack or you have like, you know, a very aesthetic body.
But then again, aesthetic is also subjective.
Very, and also you don't know if the person like is healthy.
No, you
because
don't. There are so many people who are ripped as fuck, who are unhealthy as fuck at the same time. So, but how would you describe if, let's say, when you get a feeling of I should not be doing this, where does the feeling go? Because when I have a feeling I shouldn't do something, it goes to my stomach.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say, or studies say, that it's like a feeling from inside, like your gut feeling. And I always listen to it, like with the
But where do you feel it? When you have the emotion or the feeling, I shouldn't be doing this, are you aware of where the feeling goes, travels?
I wouldn't say I'm aware where it goes. It's more like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Some people call it consciousness. Some people call it like an instinct, gut feeling, or whatever. For me, it's not necessarily it goes here or it's in my mind, but it's more like yeah,
It is there.
It is there. And I cannot describe it. So, but if something doesn't feel right, I just don't do it, and I listen to it right away. So it's not.
And that feeling is stronger since the accident, or after the 6 year, after the.
I think so. I think so. You learn a lot of things when you can't speak to anybody. You just talk with yourself.
It's crazy.
And yeah, it's. I think what it teached me to live in, like now it's a great time to be alive. If like for me it's great because I lived in isolation for I don't know how many years, you know, like 6 years. I just lived in isolation. Nobody was there, so I know how it is to live in isolation. So you can put me in a in isolation somewhere and I will be fine because I know how it feels. And now you're locked up in your home because of the coronavirus and you can't go anywhere, or just for your work or have a walk. But now you see that people, they go crazy. It's like, oh, you know, I don't have any freedom. I can go anywhere where I want to and whatever. But, you know, to me, it's like, yeah.
So how would you teach somebody to be alone?
Just be alone. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you just have to be comfortable with it. And I think it's very difficult to teach it to people nowadays because they're so, you know, on my phone, my laptop. There's so many escapes you can have during a day
from the direct experience of being you.
Yeah, you have so many options. There's so many options, and now you see that people have difficulties staying home because, you know, now they cannot escape their reality. It's just they were just home. You know that. You know. That shitty garden that has to be fixed has to be fixed now because your wife told you 6 months ago or a year ago you have to fix it, and now you have to do it right away. So that's
you normally don't listen to your wife.
No, I do. Don't bring me in problems, man. No, but there's a lot. So that is like a you know, that's like a funny thing. But there's also you know, other issues that you have to fix right now because otherwise you can't live with 2 or 3 or 4 people under the same roof. You know, because you wake up and I have to go to work. Bye. And then, you know, all those issues don't get resolved, and now it's like you have to because otherwise there's gonna be some huge fights.
All right, in the house. But to the point, it is just try to be alone, and don't try to get any distraction. Yeah, but try to be alone.
So that is very difficult because if you want to, so that is also that comes to the power within yourself.
Yeah.
Discipline, you know, like Jocko Willink says, you know, discipline equals freedom. So it is. I know that I should not be looking on my phone at 1 o'clock in the morning, at night, but I don't know, somehow, some way I want to do it because it's like the phone is calling me, saying like, oh look, have a look, you know, or whatever. Or now people are at home and they binge on chips and chocolate because they, you know, well, I can't go to the gym, so what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna. I have an excuse to do it now. Not that I do it, but I mean, like some people, they're doing it. But we live in a very strange time as well. Is that now there are people that sell seminars or weekends that you can disconnect.
Yeah. You experience stress, tension, trauma, and you want to learn how to deal with this yourself. Well, then this tool is for you. And I'm talking about tension and trauma release exercises, also known as TRE. And in my 9-year healing journey, this has become one of my absolute favorites that I still use today, every day. And it's a very simple yet innovative series of exercises that assist the body in releasing deep muscular patterns of stress, tension and trauma. Created by Dr. David Baselli,
PhD. Now, TRE safely activates a natural reflex mechanism of shaking or vibrating that releases muscular tension, calming down the nervous system. When this muscular shaking, vibrating mechanism is activated in a safe and controlled environment, then the body is encouraged to return back to a state of balance. And the beauty is, it is like learning how to drive a bike, so you only need to learn it once. And all my viewers and listeners get a 25% discount. So use the code ID25 at the checkout and enjoy the rest of this interview.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
It's very crazy. Yeah. So why do I have to pay
To go to the nation?
1,000 or 2,000 euros to someone, and he's going to give me, you know, a stillness weekend?
Mm.
That's very. That's very.
It is strange, but I can imagine you need the authority, you need the group, the presence of other people who want the same thing, so you can. How do you call it? Vibrate on the same level, and it's more easy to do if somebody tells you you have to do it.
That's it, and that's where the discipline comes from. You know what I mean? So that's what I was where I was getting to, is you can do it. Like if now is you're stripped of everything and you have to be by yourself. You have to sit by yourself. You have to think.
Yeah.
And but you don't do it because there's so many distractions.
Yeah.
Like I always say to parents that bring their kids to train with me, it's like you just give them two options or maybe even one. Like if you feel because they always say like, yeah, when I bring my kid to a certain sport, they don't like it. So after 1 month we change again, and we change and we change and we change. It's like, yeah,
there are too many.
You give a whole buffet to them, and then they want to choose, and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't want anything. It's like, oh, you can go to soccer, you can go to hockey, you can do kickboxing, you can do jiu-jitsu, you can do this, you can do that. The kid just looks at you, I wanna
give me my phone, bro.
I want a game. I just want to do games. I want to play video games. But in my time, my parents didn't have any money to bring me to any sport. Mm. So you know, if they would say like, hey, we have a couple bucks left, you can go to soccer. It's like, yeah, let me do soccer, and then you just do it. You know.
And how do you convince those parents to go to your, because you have your own jiu-jitsu school?
Yes.
How do you convince them?
Well, you know, so of course it's the quality of your classes. Mm. So we, me and my assistant teachers, we try to give as much individual quality attention to the kids, and we really look at their problems, because some kids have concentration problems, some kids have a little bit of autism, some everybody's different. Mm-hmm. But we cannot teach everyone the same way, but the principles are there. Mm-hmm. The concepts are there. Everybody can learn them, but sometimes you have to say one kid is, you have to pamper him a little bit more, and one is like, you have to be like, no, don't do that. Mm-hmm. So every child is different, and every human is different. Yeah. So, but that's a beautiful thing about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is that it's adaptable to anyone. Okay. That's why I like it so much. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about Jiu-Jitsu later on, but because now we're in the part, of course, you healing and you from isolation, and you being grateful for what now that today brings you not being isolated anymore, and the lessons you learned from that. What was the question I was going to answer?
Let me. I know where you want to go, so I'll take it over from here.
Sure.
So after I came out of the Western medicine treatments,
yes, which were to name some of them.
I did osteopathy. Right. I did physical therapy. I did I did Becken therapy. That's like the
how do you call the Becken in
hips or pelvis.
Pelvis. Thank you.
Therapy. That usually like only women do after they give birth, or
Yeah,
I have like some instability there.
Was that also in a group?
No. God, no. For me, it was already embarrassing enough to do it by myself. So I did, I did a lot of those things. I literally tried everything to heal my body. I did Rolfing, I did, I did chiropractic therapy.
But what did you learn from all those therapies? Because I also had many experiences with different therapies, but every form of therapy gave me some knowledge and experience that I could bring towards the next one.
I think what it taught me is that everybody has their own opinion and perspective on what they're doing, like in their healing. For example, a chiropractor would say like, hey, if you don't come every week, all the treatment's over for nothing, or they would all like say kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. But I learned, like you said, from all of those things, I learned something. So just a small part. Mm-hmm. But I think what brought me to the healing part of healing myself was the curiosity. So I was doing this chiropractic session, but then I would already look to something else, because I was like, my feeling was saying, it's not really working, it's like I get a couple cracks and then I have to rest for a week or a couple days to get another one in. So I was very dependent on a certain therapy.
Right.
And I really did not like that. I did not like being dependent on someone and then I have to wait for a week and come back again. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, hey, you hear a couple cracks or pops, and then it's like, do you feel better? Well, yeah. Okay, see you next week. That was like kind of the idea. And I don't want to say chiropractic is bad or this, but it didn't work for me. Mm-hmm. So, for example, the pelvis therapy didn't work for me, but I learned how to control my pelvis a little bit again. But then I needed more, I needed a little bit more. So then I tried some physical therapy. And the physical therapy is like, yeah, your mechanics are actually all good, but, your body's damaged. And then would go there and on and on and on. So I spent a lot of money there and gained some experience. And then I delved into the Chinese medicine world and the Wim Hof people and the fighting monkey people, the from Rootless Root, and some Ido Portal training, like movement stuff. And each and one of those brought me to somewhere, which eventually led to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And I learned a lot of good things there, but actually all the practices that I do now, which luckily you do a lot of those, and you probably also, but meditation and cold showers and ice baths and
getting in the sun.
Getting in the sun, yes, that's also a good one.
Workout,
train, breathe. Like some kind of
eat decent water, drink
food that doesn't have
toxicity,
toxins in there that you can actually pronounce, food that you actually can pronounce, that doesn't come in a package. A lot of fasting for me was a big one, because after all this happens, I had still a lot of issues with my stomach, my intestines. I was having bloated stomach all the time. I was always having pains in my stomach, I would have to go to the toilet 15 times a day sometimes, It was quite bad. And what I learned there is what I learned from each and every one, that somebody that taught me about food and all those kind of things, is that less is more. You know what I mean? And it's the same in Jiu-Jitsu. The more you know, the less you use. Mm-hmm. So you want to consume all the information, but in the end, maybe some of the best things you can do is not eat. You know what I mean? And then you and me, I know that you also fast. So for me, 70% of the day I don't eat. Mm-hmm. But then when I eat something that is like very very
Nutritious.
healthy, very nutritious, something that I really want to eat. You know, I'm craving. You know, I'm craving a steak, or I'm craving a you know, sauerkraut with you know, whatever, or a soup, or some fresh fruits and stuff like that.
Yeah, you could also make a cooking book.
I can.
You're very
But
active
some
on
of
Instagram.
it is my wife. It's not all of it.
right,
So, but
right.
I can cook too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so less is more. That's what I learned during the years, and what I always was doing. I tried everything. You know, I tried the bodybuilding meal plans. Like, they're clean, it's healthy, but it's too much. I was eating so much 6 times a day, because everybody's eating 5 or 6 times a day. But yeah, you need to eat because of energy. But eating the food consumes your energy. So it's totally opposite.
And what you eat also has a big part in that, because if you're eating toxic food, the body has to filtrate toxins, which also costs lots of energy. So it's better to just eat an organic apple than to eat, I don't know, a bag of apples that are sprayed with Roundup on them, you know?
Yeah, that's so that's what I found out during the years. And you know, a lot of people come to me to ask about like this healing process. I ask about what do I eat, like, because they think that is the best way, but it's the best way for me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't give, like, if somebody asks me about, like, I don't give out you know, advice
like a plan,
for food or a plan, because it doesn't exist.
So different per person.
It's very different per person, you know. It's very different.
And if you would, if I would ask you, what if you could hope or say, I wish somebody asked me this question, what would that question be?
That's a good question. I think that's a very good question. I have to think about it. But I think it should be more about the mental. Because,
yeah, sure, just on the whole period of your life.
Yeah, I think it should be... I think a lot of people know the answer already. That's maybe it. They already know it. They know that they should not consume as much calories as they burn. They know that they should not be binging on Netflix at night, but they can work on themselves. They already know that, you know. They already know the path to, I don't want to say success, but it's more
growth.
Like the path to growth. You know, they know, they already know those things, but they don't do it.
And why is that?
That's a good question.
Is that also the... why is that actually?
I think it comes down to the difference between, let's say, up and another, let's say, a regular person. Because you had an accident, you laid in that bed for so long, and you were thinking about what you were going to be all the time, right?
We are living now, we are living in that kind of period. Because they took away your gym, you can't go to the gym anymore, but you were maybe paying the fees, but you did not go to the gym. But now all of a sudden you want to go outside and you want to run. So maybe it is, you don't know what you're capable of until
It's stripped from you.
it's been stripped or taken away from you. Or now all of a sudden, if I look out the window, I see everybody's running, everybody's walking, everybody's biking, everybody's doing things that maybe it's because they have the time
I think in
now.
the beginning of this conversation you talked about discipline. Is it also discipline?
I think a lot of
but
good things can come from discipline. A lot of good things can come from discipline. Discipline and focus. I think focus is also a very big one.
Yeah.
So you enjoy the path of growing.
I enjoy the path of the process.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it's basically the same but a little bit different. But I enjoy the process. So.
And what is your biggest step now?
Now, just learning how to be a father. Learning how
to be a father.
It's amazing. It's very good. But it's also very you know, you learn a lot of things along the way. So for me, like I have a daughter now. She's 8 months. But the first thing that I learned there was that life is not about me anymore. You know, I'm not so important anymore. So, for example, you want to sit down and have a meal, but the baby's crying. You know, you can say, yeah, but I want to eat now, and I want to have some downtime.
But she wants to eat too.
But she, yeah. So you don't. Yeah, you have nothing. Yeah, you don't. For me, it's the feeling that I exist to be there for her. You know, for my daughter.
Are you looking for any supplements to boost your health because you want to restore, maintain, or achieve optimal health? Our friends at Ergomax from the Netherlands got you covered. From deuterium depleted water, enzymes and probiotics to magnesium and vitamin C. It is your one-stop shop for supplements. I know the owners and I know they care about quality, and they themselves are an example of healthy human beings. And 3 of my previous guest experts are very happy with their products. They use them personal and for their patients as well. I'm talking about mitochondrial expert Thomas van Doorn, clinical psycho neuroimmunologist Ruud Elvers and biological dentist Merlon van Ravenstein. If they would not approve, I would not be sharing Ergomax. Thomas, Ruud and Merlon helped me big time achieving a more optimal form of health in my life. So let me help you helping yourself. Get your supplements at Ergomax and feel free to send me your experience with their products. You'll find the link in the description and the show notes. Now, back to the episode.
So that's the big step now in your process.
Yeah, the step is already taken, but it's more like the process of like becoming a, you know, I don't want to say a good father, but a better one. Like every you know, every time, you know, become a little bit better, and every age has its difficulties and good things, and you know.
So how do you become better at something? What is your strategy?
My strategy, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, just there's I think there's a couple. Yeah, I don't want to say a couple, but for me, it's like I like to grind. I like to, like for example, in martial arts, I'm a grinder. You know, I know I'm not like very gifted in certain ways, but I enjoy
working for it.
Working hard for it. Like somebody that is talented could be better than me. For sure is better than me. But I know
you can outwork him.
I can outwork somebody. I know it. And I you know, it's a good feeling to have. Like I'm very, I don't want to say stubborn, but I can when I put my mind to it, I can do it.
But is that changed before you were 16? Did you have that discipline and that feeling inside too, or is the accident a big?
The seed that planted the discipline and the growth.
I think so. I think when I was 16,
you
you
can't compare, of course.
I cannot compare. Yeah, I think I was a stupid 16-year-old boy. like we all were, you know, a stupid 16. But what I do know is I had to grow up really fast. Like in an instant. Like there was like what is happening now with the coronavirus. It's instantly. It's the same. You know, it happened, and then I was like, oh shit. You know, I have to do something. You know, I'm on my own. Not that there was no family or something like that, but you're really on your own.
Yeah, I know. I think I understand you, but fast forward, no, not fast forward, but look into the coronavirus now and compare it to you said I'm alone. I was alone, and that helped me, and I had to do it alone in my head. If you compare it with the people who were saying, yeah, no, I'm alone back home, and I try to be alone, you know, without Netflix, without the telephone. Do you see that as a positive thing, or do you think no, we should go on as fast as possible?
You mean as like thinking of we're gonna get through this fast, like through the coronavirus? Or
Yeah,
you mean?
because there are people saying now, we are helping now the hospitals by doing this, this
Staying home.
keratin thing. That's the main goal. But on the other side, the economic is now growing down. What do you think? It's a good thing.
That's not up to me to tell someone how to live their life, of course.
No.
But you can take it as an opportunity, of course.
So how do you see this as an opportunity?
You can look at it in many different ways, but I would say you have all this time now. You can learn a new skill.
Yeah.
You can come to your senses. You can be by yourself. Or you can be very proactive and productive and do something about it, or change your situation, or have a look at different opportunities that you can do, business-wise or within your own life.
So you see it as a positive thing.
For example, I have a own jiu-jitsu academy. I can literally do anything. Like I can do nothing. Like there's no like martial arts fighting. It's very close contact. So there's this 1.5 meter thing is not gonna work. I can sit and cry about it, but I can also be proactive and start bringing out the message to people. What is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What does it do for your life? What does it do for your mental health? What can do those things? Those are the things that I'm busy with now.
If I watch you, I think you choose the first one, doing nothing.
I wish I could do nothing, but when your daughter is crying at 6 in the morning, you have to get up. So you can do that, or you can be a consumer.
Yeah.
Be a consumer of food, or you can be a consumer of Netflix, or you can be a consumer of the news. I remember the first day when this coronavirus started. I haven't watched any news, I think, for the past 6 years. Like I don't follow the news at all. I just watch podcasts and read books and stuff like that. If something is really important, it will get to me.
Yeah.
I will hear it. So the first day of the coronavirus, when they said, people have to stay home, I was
watching the news.
consuming the news. I was watching and watching. I was like, what the hell is going on? What is this? Because it was like a week ago, everybody was like, it's just a flu or something like that. I was like, what the hell is going on, man? So we're just looking at the news. Look at the news. Oh, something pops up. I have to watch it again. It was the same news as an hour ago, but they changed 2 words in the, in the text. So it's like, oh, it's new. And then I was looking at it. So I did this during the whole day. And I've been training, I think now for more than 10 years, twice a day. And I never been so tired as that day. I was so tired because I was just looking at the news the whole day. I felt like I was hit by a truck, man. I have been hit by a truck, so I know how it feels. but I was like, what the hell? So I said, no more news again. So if something is really important, like a press conference from the government.
Do you know how that came? Why are you so tired that day?
Because I was consuming the news the whole day. I was just busy with that. I was,
But
not
why is it
fear.
making you tired?
Fear, I think fear.
Okay.
Fear of not knowing what's going on. That's how I felt. So I was like, what the hell is going on? Is it shutting down everything? Like,
So you stopped watching the news?
I stopped watching the news, yeah. So I had like my moment, that was that day, and I was like, whatever is going to happen.
You know that we are
happen.
still in quarantine?
I know. I have my suit, so all good. Yeah, so that, I was, I felt it, I was consuming again. I was consuming the news again. And I know why I stopped watching the news a couple of years ago. Because, I was one day I was sitting in the morning, I was having a breakfast, and I turned on the TV. I didn't know why I was turning on the TV, but it was like I had to hear something in the background. And then it was like, 14 people got killed by this and this, and I was like, you know, can I curse on this podcast?
Yeah, sure.
I was like, fuck the news, man. So I just turned it off. And I was like, so much negative. Like the morning was already starting with negative things.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never watching the fucking news.
I got the feeling more and more people are making that decision, not watching the news anymore, or even not in the morning because it's too negative.
It's very negative.
Yeah, and if you watch the news and it starts with a negative emotion, and you're just waking up, you're on gamma and theta wavelengths in your brain, so that's the subconscious level. And if you put something in it, you will feel it the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So if you watch the news, first be productive, do something for yourself, first take, and then give. Then give yourself to watching news or something like that. That's one of the things I learned. I also stopped watching TV, I think, seven years ago.
What I do to, because you say that the first moment of the day is very important, what you see or watch, right?
Yeah.
See you is one, yeah.
If you listen or whatever you think.
Yeah, what I do is watch the face of my girlfriend. That makes me happy.
Good.
And what if she's not there?
We have a problem.
Will you watch in the mirror and you cry?
No.
No? No. Well, then I'm happy for you.
That makes me happy too.
So what do you do in the morning, Ab?
You know, if my daughter doesn't cry, I wake up 6 in the morning. You know, it's meditation, do workout. Usually I would go to the gym. You know, I would wake up 5:30, do a meditation, make a cup of coffee, and then I go to hit the gym, and then start my day. So I would do a gym, a sauna session. So before 8, I'm already good to go. So yeah, then I start working and being productive, writing, you know, teaching private classes and whatnot. But can't do that right now, so we're doing something different. Yeah, busy with those things, building community. Yeah, doing what I like, what I love, teaching Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah, because so what is your relationship to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? Because you told us all the concepts together of all the therapies and all the thinking brought you towards Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah. So I.
My mother even read the paper, the news article of the paper, and she was like, "Oh shit, Matthijs, this guy is awesome. You should invite him to your podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, he teaches me Brazilian Jiu Jitsu at the moment, Mom." "Oh, he's the guy."
Yeah.
So she is now in your school too.
I wish my mom was doing BJJ.
That's hilarious. That's funny. I think that it's very weird how it happened. You know, one day I was sitting at home, and everything I do in my life, I try to do it the best I can. You know, so I was doing, for example, at that time I was doing CrossFit. So I was doing Olympic lifting, and I was doing boxing. So I was doing CrossFit workouts, some Olympic lifting, and boxing. And I would just, you know, YouTube and I study, trying to see how I can lift something better, or I can box, you know, do some boxing drills, whatever. And I was looking, and I saw this video. I saw I was like, I need to look at this. Like I saw this man. He was standing like this in a gi. I was like, what is that? So I click on it, and I was watching it, and it was Gracie in UFC 1. You know, when he was wearing a gi, and he was fighting this huge sumo wrestler guy. I was like, whoa, I was like, that's fake. You know, I was looking, I was like, that's fake, man. You know, he's a small guy and he's fighting a huge sumo guy. I was like, what the hell? So I was looking, and he beat him, he choked him out. And I was like, whoa, what, you know, is that real? So I started doing research. I was like, what is that? And I found out it was Gracie Jiu Jitsu. And then I was surfing some more on YouTube, and I saw this movie, it's called Choke by Hicks and Gracie. And so I watched the whole movie. I was like, I need to learn that. So I Google Hicks and Gracie Jiu Jitsu, and I found my teacher on the internet. So I booked a class. I was like, hey, can I go? Is it for beginners? He's like, yeah, come by. And I think 3 months later, I was in the airplane to Los Angeles to train with Hicks and Gracie that I saw on the video.
Really?
Yeah. So I went deep right away.
Sure.
So, yeah, I took a deep dive.
Nice.
Right away. Yeah, it was
And
cool.
you choked him.
No, I did not. So I think the first couple of years you learn to be very humble, you know, get choked by everyone, become step by step, become a little bit better. But yeah, so
And now you're a teacher.
I'm a teacher, yeah, that's very weird to me. Yeah, that's very
How
weird
long
to me.
are you a teacher now?
I started teaching in Amsterdam in my teacher's school.
But before you are allowed to teach, you need diplomas, right?
Not really. You
Okay.
need,
I think the diploma is the belt.
the belts are diploma, or,
Okay.
you know, the concept. But you learn through doing. That's a different thing. So you can have all the diplomas you need if you want, but when somebody comes in and he chokes you out, you know, the diploma doesn't count for anything. You need the experience, you need the techniques, you need to understand the principles and the concept.
Yeah, and understand people, because you said before, everybody's different, right?
Everybody's different, yeah.
So
yeah.
yeah,
You need to learn how to
to manage that with different people.
yeah, it's more like, yeah, you're
Sense.
in a negotiation all the time with people, you know.
A negotiation?
Yeah, it's something interesting that I read in a book a while ago. It's like everything is a negotiation in life.
Is that from Chris Voss?
Yeah, I read that.
Because I just did what Chris Voss told me to do.
Ah, okay.
I'm repeating the last word of your sentence.
You're mirroring.
Yeah, I'm mirroring.
I'm taking this off. This thing is hot.
You experience stress, tension, trauma, and you want to learn how to deal with this yourself. Well, then this tool is for you. And I'm talking about tension and trauma release exercises, also known as TRE. And in my 9-year healing journey, this has become one of my absolute favorites that I still use today, every day. And it's a very simple yet innovative series of exercises that assist the body in releasing deep muscular patterns of stress, tension and trauma. Created by Dr. David Baselli, PhD. Now, TRE safely activates a natural reflex mechanism of shaking or vibrating that releases muscular tension, calming down the nervous system. When this muscular shaking, vibrating mechanism is activated in a safe and controlled environment, then the body is encouraged to return back to a state of balance. And the beauty is, it is like learning how to drive a bike, so you only need to learn it once. And all my viewers and listeners get a 25% discount. So use the code ID25 at the checkout and enjoy the rest of this interview.
Yeah, so I read that book a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's interesting. So it's negotiation. And somebody has a different type of view. It's like, oh, I can see where you're coming from, but you're not in there to
project
fight.
your
Yeah,
reality towards them.
So even now that I have a jiu-jitsu school, it's not like I'm trying to be a Jehovah Witness of jiu-jitsu. It's like, hey man, you need to enlighten yourself and try a class. That's not what I try to do. I just try to put the message out there, what it can do for you. And if you come to my school, I will try to, or come to a workshop, because I do it for businesses as well, you know, in healthcare, in schools, and that come in contact with people that have where there is aggression, to give you the best experience you can have.
Getting choked by Abdel Ziamari.
That's what you want.
Yes.
That's, and I always say to the people that come to my classes, I've been choked out way more times than you. You know, the difference between so let's say a black belt and a white belt is the black belt has stepped way more times than you. And that's something it's very difficult to understand if you're a white belt. You're just at the beginning of the mountain. And you look up, you're like, oh, look at all those things there that I need to. So that's again the process, and you need to take You need to take enjoyment out of
learning
the difficulty of getting there. You know, it's that's something that I really like. It's like, hey, I got choked out 20 times a day, but the week after, it was only 80. And he gave up because he was tired of choking me. You know, that's something that I like. He's like, yeah, it's very strange, but for example, somebody's smashing you on the mats, like he's totally obliterated you. You can do anything. And he got tired of choking you out. And then he's like, I'm gonna move on to the next. And then in my mind, I would say, yeah, he gave up. Like, oh, he got tired of me. That's good. You know what I mean? Or you can see it like, oh man, he destroyed me, and I can do anything. Like I felt like a small baby.
That's a positive way of thinking.
Yeah, that's what I try to do. You know, that's a
nice,
funny thing.
That's a good. Now I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Although I'm very. I had my first. I tapped the blue belt.
Okay. Don't say the name.
No, but it was only one time. But suddenly. I was like, holy shit, I tapped the fucking blue belt.
Yeah.
I was completely, utterly shocked, because all the, at Raoul's gym in Haarlem, you have Leroy Tains and lots of purple belts, and some blue and only a tiny of white belts. And even, you get very humble because all the purple belts, but they also are very gentle with you. Yeah. So they make you sweat. They point out your weaknesses, so you can really work on them. And Leroy also told me, what Abdel did. He started at the bottom, and then he learned from bottom up.
Yeah.
And that's also what I'm trying to do right now. So I always start at the bottom.
Yeah. I was always the curious one. It's like, and what I found. What I found out is that if you're really curious and you're really open, like you're like an antenna and you just try to get information, people will really help you. They will really, really help you. It's like I never had a problem with anyone. Like if I would, like for example, like I told you, I'm not into the things that you are into, like vibration and all those kind of things, but I can understand where you are coming from because I feel the same thing probably, but I'm not saying them in those words. You know what I mean? It's like if something doesn't feel right, it's probably my gut feeling or my senses or whatever. But it's not. I'm not calling it a vibration or something that comes through the universe and whatnot. But I can understand where you're coming from. So it's the same with jiu-jitsu. It's like somebody chokes you out. Or submit you, and then you can feel very angry about it, or you are open to learning, and he will teach you the secret. And so that's that's a different perspective you can have, or either on your training or your life. So if you have financial problems, maybe you should be open to learning about finances.
So you find a blue belt, a purple belt, or a black belt in financial management.
For example, or you can say like, it's all because of bad luck and I don't have, whatnot. And you can do this in many things. Right.
But you reach already so many goals, and you are just 30 years old. Do you have more goals now?
I have much more things to accomplish. Yeah, a lot more things. There's so many things that I want to do still. I want to learn new languages. I want to grow more businesses. Let people be more aware of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, of course. Becoming a better father, stuff like that. So, and maybe I have new interests. Next year, I don't know. I don't know where life is going to take me, but I'm just like Hicks and Gracie says,
and try to
flow with the go.
Yeah. And live day by day, still.
Yeah, like now we're living day by day. Yesterday was a press conference by the Dutch government, and everybody was like, "Oh, let's see what's." So we are now living day by day, and it can be over tomorrow, So just seize the day, and if you have a death experience like me, that I had many death experiences, you'll take life by the day. Yeah.
How did you experience those experiences?
Which ones?
The near-death experiences.
They were dark. Yeah, it's there's no. I heard some stories about some people that talk about they've been there, they died and came back and they saw the light and this. But for me, it was not there. There was only darkness. But
what do you think happens after death?
There's many theories about it. For me, I am Muslim, so I have different views about it, and that's something that is stays very interesting to many of us. Some would say it's a guess. Some would say they already know. For me, I'm still discovering it, so it's. I'm just looking at different options.
So you're still thinking of. You don't exactly know where you're going, or you're not convinced one of the other is better than the other.
Oh, I'm
more
still,
certain.
I'm still curious about it. Let's keep it at that. So I'm still reading a lot about it and thinking about it. And, yeah, that's.
All right, but they were very dark for you.
There were dark periods. Yeah, that was very dark, and sometimes I didn't know where I was. So it's. It's very hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. I really don't know how to explain it, but were dark times. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think one time I did natural MDMA with my girlfriend, and I think my nervous system was trying to get something out of the system, like an emotion, but I was repressing the emotion, I think. And then I remember I had to pee, and I went outside, and after the balcony, there was only 1.5 meter high, the balcony. I peed, and I had immense implosions inside my head, like a flash of light, and it would hurt so incredible. So when I wanted to walk back upstairs, and exactly before the stairs, I had another flash and then I went out, and I fell from the balcony with my head on the concrete. And when that happened, I went into a black void, like everything was black, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't smell, but I just knew I was somewhere in a black space. But I knew I was there, but I couldn't do anything. And that was quite fearful. I think that's my most afraid and anxious, fearful experience I've ever dealt with in my life. And then out of a sudden I felt some, and then I saw my girlfriend's face. Hey, are you alive, man? She thought I cracked my neck or something. She said that bang was so incredibly hard. So I've never had another experience that came so close to, let's say, I think death.
Yeah.
But it was also very black. I was stuck into a black reality. Wow. Is that something that feels somewhere alike?
That's yeah, maybe. It's like you wake up, the dark, and you wake up. That's what I had, at least. So I wouldn't say it's the same experience, but it's like somebody shutting the light off, something like that, maybe.
Hey, I'm also curious about if we go back to the accident period. How was it for your family, for your parents, to see their son like that?
Yeah, tough. I always say that it was probably harder for my parents than for me. We had an incident with my dad that he saw, like he just came through the room, and he came to see if I was how I was doing, and he opened up the curtain and he saw my
The inside of your
intestines,
body.
the inside of my body, and he was not ready for that. So when I think he had such a big shock that it turned his I would say his I think he literally turned gray in over like a period of a week or something like that. He was like, my father had always like very dark hair, and I think he got so scared, or he was so like shocked by the event that happened, that his hair turned gray. Yeah, it was very weird. So he had a tough time with what happened. So yeah, my family went quite through some difficult times.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Wow. Hey, and okay, this is a strange period if we look to the coronavirus. We're wearing the suits. So do you have any tips for the people who are watching?
Tips.
Are you looking for any supplements to boost your health because you want to restore, maintain, or achieve optimal health? Our friends at Ergomax from the Netherlands got you covered. From deuterium depleted water, enzymes and probiotics to magnesium and vitamin C. It is your one-stop shop for supplements. I know the owners, and I know they care about quality, and they themselves are an example of healthy human beings. And 3 of my previous guest experts are very happy with their products. They use them personal and for their patients as well. I'm talking about mitochondrial expert Thomas van Doorn, clinical psycho neuroimmunologist Ruud Elvers, and biological dentist Merlon van Ravenstein. If they would not approve, I would not be sharing Ergomax. Thomas, Ruud and Merlon helped me big time achieving a more optimal form of health in my life. So let me help you helping yourself. Get your supplements at Ergomax and feel free to send me your experience with their products. You'll find the link in the description and the show notes. Now, back to the episode.
Have a routine. I think people are routine based. They want to be, wake up, do a meditation practice, or just be by yourself, write something, or do a workout, get the blood going, do some yoga. Yeah, be productive, learn something new every day.
Yeah,
let the brain do its work. So that's it, man.
So what are your non-negotiables when it comes to a morning routine or an evening routine, or I don't know, maybe you want to keep your phone in a certain way in your pocket, or it has to be on, how do you call that, airplane stance or airplane or something?
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode, thank you very much. What are your non-negotiables in life?
Not look at the phone in the morning for sure, and do a meditation. That's one thing that I like to do. And a workout. Yeah, that's something that I actually do daily. So those are the ones.
Right. What is your morning routine?
Meditation, training, and some writing. Usually, yeah, those are the ones.
And what do you write about?
Blogs about Jiu Jitsu or business. That's what I like to do. Yeah.
An evening routine?
Train Jiu Jitsu. So that's what I do. Yeah. So I'm not doing that at the moment, but I do like some solo drills, and I teach classes through Zoom. So that's how I keep busy.
All right.
Inspiring guy, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And if we go a bit towards the end, I stole the questions from London Real because Brian Rose is one of my heroes. If we were to call 5 of your best friends and we would ask, what is Abdel's superpower? What would they say?
They would say discipline, and they would say, not giving up. Those are the two. I think the big two.
Is that true?
It's very true. Yeah.
Proud of?
I'm quite proud of it. Yeah, and I lived it, so I know it. So I'm doing it on a daily basis.
And who's the most important person in your life?
But now it's my daughter, so for sure. Yeah, everything is for her. So that's...
Worst day and best day of your life?
Best is for sure my daughter being born, and the worst is the day of my accident, for sure. Yeah.
All right. And then the last question of them all is, if I was able to give you a magic phone and you were able to call the 20-year-old Abdel, what would you tell him?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I would say be more open to information. Yeah, at that time I was quite stubborn. I was just like looking through one lens, you know. But I was in survival mode, so I was just doing what I could, what I can at that moment. So,
but should it not be like on the shoulder, guy, you're doing great, you're doing good.
Hang in there.
Well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could have gone better in that period, so yeah.
All right. How do people find you?
At Amersfoort BJJ on Instagram, Facebook, same, or Abdel Ziamari, and that's it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
If you have any other questions for Abdel or for us, leave them down below in the comments. See you next time. Ciao.